it's Mary. Welcome back to part 2 of vision planning. In the first video, we went over 10 questions that you could ask yourself to get your juices flowing when it comes to figuring out what it is that you want for your life. I know this sounds like it could be a simple question, but for a lot of us, it's a very difficult question. We really get so caught up in the day-to-day life, the either rat race that we're in, or just the requirements and demands that are placed upon us, that we really don't take a lot of time to think about what could be. We just really are living in the reality. And so in the first video, I offered 10 questions for you to think about. I highly recommend checking that video out. I will link it in the description box below as well as at the end of this video. If you are uncertain about what direction you would like to go in your life, that could help prompt some of those thoughts. It's not an end-all be-all list of questions, of course, but maybe it will help you to kind of start thinking a little bit differently. So in part 2 today, we're actually going to start talking about how to vision plan. How are we going to do that? Because it seems like now that I know what direction I'd like to see my life go in, it seems a little scary, could be exciting, or you could also be a little bit skeptical about it. Could it be that easy? In my opinion is yes, it is that easy. Once you realize that there's no one standing over your shoulder telling you no, you can't do that, or you won't accomplish this, or that's impossible, then you realize that you can write down whatever it is that your heart desires. You literally can design your own life. That is the part, I think, that's the hardest to dive into. The biggest hurdle to jump over is the faith in that possibility. Well, let's just throw caution to the wind and let's just pull out a piece of paper and write it down. That is really your only job for vision planning at this moment. There's a couple things I want you to think about prior to jumping in. The first is don't overthink. This is not a business proposal that you're putting together where you have to explain all the logistics, all the financing, all of the how behind how you're going to do this. This is not what that's about. Right now, you are just writing down on the paper your vision. You're just writing down what it is that you see in your life that would truly be your ideal situation. That's it. You don't have to worry about the how. All of that is going to come. It's almost inevitable once you really dive into the belief aspect of this is how I envision my life. This is what I'm seeing every day. This is what I want. It's what I'm called to do. It's what I'm drawn to. And all those other logistical pieces really start to fall into place. And I'll share some of my testimony with you as well throughout this journey. When I was watching the movie The Secret on Netflix, that was one of the things that stood out to me really, really strongly was someone had said, the how is none of your business. And I thought, wow, that's taking a lot of pressure off of me. I don't have to worry about all that because I'm type A, I'm organized. Mine is in the way of, well, how am I going to get this done? But for that moment in time, hearing that was just like, oh, thank goodness. I just have to focus on the what. I can do that. And so can you. The second thing is not to limit yourself. Do not play small. This is your life. This is your one life. Do not play it small. If you want something big, write it down. Envision it. Dream it. It is possible. But don't play small out of fear. Dream as big as you possibly want. Whatever it is that you want or envision for yourself in this life, that is what you should be writing down. Like I said, there are no naysayers here. This is just for you. And this is going to help you pour massive belief into yourself because we all can use a little bit more of that. Just 2 days ago, I had a self-doubt episode. And it was that moment where I said, no, this is the moment where I can say, that's the old way of thinking. Now I'm changing my thought patterns. I do believe that this is possible for myself. And when you're writing your vision down, that is your way of taking that time for yourself, putting yourself first and saying, this is what I'm going to do. This is the belief that I have in myself. I wanted to share a little bit of my testimony of how I got to a point where I so strongly believe in this process. I had been in the military for over 2 decades, And about 3 or so years ago, I started to feel different. I started to feel my motivation was wavering, my discipline for certain things. I wasn't really happy or fulfilled in what I was doing. It was just different from the first 2 decades that I had spent in my service. And I didn't like it, and it wasn't going away. In fact, it was getting worse. I started to manifest physical symptoms of severe anxiety and depression. I really knew that something just was wrong. I also knew that I needed to get some help because none of my traditional coping mechanisms were working. No matter how much I worked out or surrounded myself with people that love me, it just wasn't enough. There was something else missing. And so I did. I sought out help. I started medication to assist me with that process. And it is now, through all the personal development work that I did, I have the realization that that was my greatest gift. It was a moment in time for me to be unapologetic about putting myself first. I truly needed to dive into all the things that were going on with me internally so that I could figure out how to fix it, because the way that I was living was miserable. And then on top of already feeling badly and not knowing why, I was beating myself up for the fact that I had nothing to be upset about and that I really had a blessed life. And so it was just this vicious cycle. So I sought out the help. I worked on myself massively, and I realized along the way that once I developed the vision for my life, all of the decisions that I was faced with for my life had to be made in alignment with my vision. See, that's where the magic comes in. You're not going to write this vision, sit back, twiddle your thumbs, and the universe is going to hand you glory. That's not what this is about. What it is about is that you'll remind yourself daily by reading your vision of the times when decisions come to you, how you want to make them based on the vision and the design that you're making for your own life. That's what starts to happen. And so once I wrote my vision and I read my vision and I believed in it, when I was offered opportunities that were not congruent with what it was that I was trying to do with my life, it was easy to spot them. I think that was the biggest revelation for me. Prior to doing this work, I couldn't spot them. I was uncertain. I didn't even know what I wanted. So yeah, everyone else says that's a good opportunity. Why would I not take that opportunity? And that was where I kept getting tripped up. But once I decided to do that work, put this work in, and commit to understanding that this was my life and that I was designing it the way I wanted to and standing in that truth, then whatever was thrown at me, it didn't matter how good it looked to somebody else. If it didn't look good to me, it didn't pass the test. I know I had mentioned a little bit about this not being complicated. It's not. It's not complicated. In fact, it's as easy as it sounds. Along the way of growing up and getting these requirements placed upon us, society is telling us what success looks like. We lose a little bit of what that could look like for ourselves. So defining your own success is really, really important. You can't continue a life that you envision based on someone else's definition of how you're successful. So when you're writing your vision, you want to be as detailed as you possibly can be. And so I'm going to throw out a couple prompts that will remind you of some of the things that you can write down. You can do vision based on how you want to live your daily life, how you want ultimately the overview of your life to be. It really is whatever you want. But the meat of your vision really needs to be specificity. So being as clear and concise with what it is that you want, that is really where the magic is. So for example, I want to be rich and I want to live in a big house. Not as specific as I want to make $500,000 a year and I want to be able to live in the house with the tennis court and the pool. That's more specific. And so that's what you want to do. You also want to include the people that you want around you, whether or not they exist currently or someone that you hope to have in your life in the future. Include that. Any aspect of your life that you want to continue to remind yourself of and to continue to envision, it should be written down. Your vision can be short it can be long, and like I said before, it can change whenever you want it to. After you write your vision, commit to yourself to reading it every single day for 30 days. Now, I want you to read it every single day for the rest of your life as it changes, and you'll just be reading new things. But let's just start here. When you remind yourself of the life that you want to live, anything that you are confronted with that is out of alignment with that vision, you will have no problems saying, nope, that's not in line with my vision. If you envision your life full of healthy relationships and you remind yourself of that every single day, then the moment someone comes at you and does not match up with what it is that you are trying to do with your life, you will be able to spot that right away. They won't just be subtle red flags, they will be glaring on fire in front of your face. So that is why it's so important to commit to yourself to reading that every single day. The last thing I want to say about this is remain open. Remain open to possibilities of the how. Remember we talked about how it was none of your business of the how, which is my favorite line. If you get too caught up in the how, then opportunities that you are afforded could be missed because it's not how you envisioned it happening. So that's why it's really important for you to just focus on the what at this time and be open to receiving the how in different areas. I will give you a testimony for myself. For years, probably 8 to 10 years of my military career, I had this desire to be a keynote speaker for a leadership graduation ceremony. It just was something that I wanted to do so badly. I don't know why, I can't explain why. I'm an instructor at heart, so I just wanted to share this moment with the graduates. Just for those of you who are unfamiliar, this is a 6-week leadership course that our folks go through, and then at the end they have a ceremony and they have a speaker, a guest speaker. So I truly wanted to do this for years. I think I was even writing drafts. I was writing drafts of my speech. And I forget what the year was, but I had made the decision to retire, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, I better actually get on this and start asking people if I could be their keynote speaker. So there's only one local schoolhouse around me, and I asked, and he had told me, regrettably, I'm sorry, but we already have someone to fill the rest of the year, so we don't need you, essentially is what he said. And I thought, oh boy, like that stinks. I really wanted to do that. I guess I just didn't jump on it soon enough. But it was something that I shared with people, something that I put out there, I wrote down, and it just didn't happen. Well, about a month after that, I got a message on Facebook from a fellow friend who had told me that he put my name in to be a presenter at a professional seminar conference and wanted to know if I would do it. My topic was going to be personal development. And I thought, well, I don't need to know much more. Yes, I'll do it. That sounds amazing. When I found out what I was going to be doing, it was not a 10-minute keynote speech. It was a 1-hour-long presentation developed by me, speaking to 300 plus of the instructors who teach the students at the graduation I once wanted to be a keynote speaker for. It was an opportunity that I just was so profoundly honored to be a part of. And because I was open, this came to me. And so that's really why I want to stress to you not to focus on the deliberate logistical how of how this is going to work, but put more of your focus and your belief into the what. If you are too closed off from the how, you might miss an opportunity. And I might have walked away saying I never got to be a keynote speaker and not seeing this opportunity as a 10 times level up to what I wanted in the first place. So I hope that that gets you started on writing your own vision. Believe in yourself, because there are enough people out there that are too focused on doubting others and spending their energy in the wrong place, that if there's one person that should be in your own corner, it is you. Believe in you. You can achieve anything that you put your mind to, put your heart into. Don't forget to read your vision every single day. And I would love for you to come back jump in the comments and share some of your own testimony, either if you have done that before and how it's gone for you, or once you do that for 30 days. Okay, I also have a surprise for 2 lucky winners. I have a giveaway, and I'm going to be giving away this Wellness Warrior Guided Happy Journal. And so this is going to help you with your vision, with your journaling, and it's guided so that it prompts you with some questions to kind of get you to start thinking. But the front of it says, find what makes your heart smile, and it's really sweet. It's got a bunch of, like I said, prompts and just some blank papers and things like that, so you can be very creative with it as well. So there'll be 2 of those. To enter that giveaway, you just have to comment in the comments down below, and really there's no parameters. Just share whatever it is about your wellness journey that you want to share. And then I would love for you to also share this video so that we could try to help as many people out there to get started on their wellness journey, their journaling, their vision, and all the things that are really going to help them keep in alignment or get in alignment with their best life. Again, comment below and I will pick 2 winners and announce it in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was helpful, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Be well and live well.